Hello and welcome to Tales from the Backlog. My name is Steve Boshear and I will be your game master for the evening. I've got a little map there. Let me let's show our logo. Hey, there's the logo. Tonight's game is Beyond the Wall and Other Adventures. This is the cover of the book right here. If you are not familiar with this channel, we stream most Mondays. Sometimes we miss a Monday for reasons, but most Mondays we stream a variety of games, a rotating collection of games with a rotating stable of players. Jason and Mia here are stream staples, as am I. And on Friday nights we have an ongoing campaign. We have had a D&D campaign over there that just wrapped up after 3 years and 100 episodes. And starting this Friday, coming up, we're going to be starting a Cyberpunk Red campaign. Not run by myself, but run by two people who were players in my D&D game, Alan and Matt, who you may know if you watch the channel. So first Alan, then Matt are going to run us through Cyberpunk, which we've done before. I'm bringing back my character from our previous Cyberpunk games. And then early next year, we'll be back in D&D for Shadows of Arconia Campaign 2. But tonight, Beyond the Wall. If you're not familiar with this game, it's a really cool sort of... I've been telling people it's kind of like D&D light. A lot of the games that we've played on this stream have been D&D light. But this take on it is... simplified rules mechanics, but also they provide a series of playbooks for building your characters that allow you to simply answer a short series of questions and in so doing generate your whole backstory and your character sheet. So you can build a character in 5 minutes, and the scenario packs for running the game work the same way. I have one of them right here. This one is called the Angered Fae scenario, and I've printed it out so that I can underline the items on the tables that I rolled on, because different events that take place in the game are multiple choice. So that being the intro for the game itself, we only have 2 players tonight, so let's have them introduce themselves and their characters. Jason, what do you got?
Hey, I'm Jason. I'm playing Dario, the self-taught mage. And I'm basically a nerdy little thing who's all smarts and no brawn. So basically the opposite of what I would normally play. But let's see. I know I've got him over here. So I grew up in this village. My parents keep the old tales, like the folklore. I like to hang out with the hunters as a kid. They told like the best ghost stories. And let's see, probably the next biggest thing about me is that when it was my time to come of age, a actual wizard passed through the village, and instead of engaging with him and, you know, figuring out like if I was good, I completely wimped out, hid, and waited for him to just leave. So I don't really know how good I am as a wizard, but you know, maybe you know, I'll figure some stuff out as we go.
Well, while we're on the subject, I've got a question for you, which we've already been talking about, but we're going to talk about it again like it's the first time. So you mentioned the wizard, and you gave us Boris the Old Hunter as, I guess, the other character in town who befriended you, yeah?
Well, he's you know, he knew me when I used to like go overnighting with our local hunters, and he actually, when the wizard passed through our village, he basically ran interference for me, was like, no, he's not here. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, keep moving, dude. And then after the wizard left, he found me and basically consoled me, realized that, you know, I was maybe kind of really freaked out and stressed out about this. So, you know, he consoled me and helped me calm down, and, you know, maybe next time I can, you know, face that.
Okay. So, for the benefit of our viewers, as the characters go through and answer these questions about themselves as they're making their characters, we also generate the map of the village that they live in while they're doing it. So you can see we've got a partially generated map here. There's always an inn in the center that comes on the blank map sheet, and then the rest of it we've added. Dario told us that there's a basement library, a secret library under the inn, which only he has a key to. And that there is somewhere in or near town this old mass grave with pumpkins growing in it. Big, bright orange pumpkins that grow better there than anywhere else for mysterious reasons. And we'll get to Mia's character in just a moment, but another thing that we also do while generating the map is filling in some of the people who live in town. Now, Boris the Old Hunter was the answer to the question of who befriended you. The other part of that list that has a hand icon next to it indicating you're supposed to create an NPC is, what did you do when the wizard came by? So maybe...
No, that was mine for when the wizard came by.
That's the answer to what you did, but you still need to create a character. You can either name the wizard that came by and isn't here.
That's literally my answer for that question, is Boris the Old Hunter.
Boris is the wizard?
No. So the NPC I made up for that, like, life path entry was Boris the Old Hunter. I haven't come up with one for the earlier NPC.
Oh, I see. He does. I see how he kind of answers both questions. I assumed he was answering the other one.
Yeah.
All right.
And the other one, I've been really flippy dippy and can't come up with anything about.
Yeah.
Well, we can. I was hoping I was going to be a bit more paying attention while Mia was going through her stuff, and come up with something.
You had cat problems. So yeah, that's the kind of thing this does. You can either do the obvious, which to me on that question was name the wizard, or in the case of what Jason did, just sort of spin off something that you are inspired to do by the question. In his case, he decided to come up with a character who helped him hide from the wizard. So that's perfectly fine. You also are allowed to just make something up that has nothing to do with the question at all. And so let's come back to that, because we do want one more character on that list. And actually, you said you need to come up with a familiar for yourself as well. Which will
I'm trying to figure out what kind of familiar I have.
Which will help, because I kind of want 7 people for the list anyway. So while you're thinking of that, let's go over to Mia. Why don't you tell us about your character?
Okay, I will be playing Sherba Jarn. She is a warrior, a reluctant warrior. She kind of fell into the fighting squad as her father is one of the village guards. His name being Furman, and at one point we had a brief encounter with a outside force, and I was forced into protecting some people, and thus learned that I had a proclivity for fighting, and had eventually befriended the local smith, Hakon, and he had given me a fabulous sword to use. Having seen that I have great skill, that I really am not a big fan of being a fighter, but reluctant hero. But I'm also trying to avoid the arranged marriage that has been set before me. as they tried to marry me off to one of the families, a young man named Finn Smith, who I am not particularly fond of. But also part of that was in the past, I had befriended one of the local hunters, an ineffectual hunter, Rio. He is more of a bully and but also a slight mentor in the areas of hunting.
You mentioned two characters that I don't have on the list. Your father and your betrothed. What were their names again?
Father Furman.
Like that?
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
And Finn, F-I-N, Finn Smith is the arranged marriage.
What is... Well, I know your father's a watchman. What does Finn do, if anything?
Maybe let's say they're merchants. Yeah. Merchant's son, yeah.
Oh boy, this thing keeps switching fonts every time I every time I use a punctuation.
Well, I can't read it there. I got to put it on the Twitch. There we go. I can read it there.
I'll get it. Okay, so Sherva's betrothed. Oh, it did it again. All right, merchant boy. And then Furman is
my
Sherva's dad. Watchman. We'll spell that correctly, and then we'll get it up where it can be seen.
Yeah, I was inspired, I was saying before the stream, I was inspired by the artwork that's in the lower right-hand corner there.
Oh, yeah.
Someone wielding a sword far too large for him, but when the time comes, the ability and the strength, the adrenaline kicks in, and a bit of a ferocity. I was thinking maybe she had a bit of that berserker type in her when battle starts.
Sounds good.
I got a question. Do y'all think that this village might have someone who makes mirrors?
Someone who makes mirrors?
Yeah.
It certainly could. They'd probably be like aluminum mirrors.
Okay. Because I was thinking like, so this spirit of chaos there was a spirit of chaos drawn to my power when I was younger, and Mia, how do you pronounce your character's name?
Sherva.
Sherva. Okay.
Sherva.
It's a little out of focus for me, so I wanted to make sure. So Sherva helped me, not so much like it will help me defeat it, but it's still kind of there. It's still there, just beyond the walls of sight. And I was thinking maybe, maybe not the brightest thing that Dario does is he goes to our local mirror maker and just will go like out of the corner of his eye, look at these mirrors, looking for like a hint of this spirit of chaos, and in so doing has made friends with the woman who makes these mirrors.
Okay, and what is her name?
Let's call her Asia.
Like that? ACIA? Sorry, that's really mean. I wrote ACIA.
That's beautiful.
Asia, the mirror woman. Okay. Now, we have 8 names. I'm going to roll on a table, and you'll find out why later on.
Also wanted to ask, do y'all think we get like much fruit up here around this village?
I think so. There's a whole forest there.
Okay.
And if you want, there could even be an orchard. It could be an orchard village.
There's an apple grove nearby.
Yeah.
Apple grove. Sounds good.
I'm going to take a bat as a familiar.
Okay.
Nice.
Not so much the blood-sucking variety, but the large puppyish fruit variety.
Okay.
And you need a name. Let's call them.
I was just thinking maybe Finns, they sell apples, so they sell Grandy Smith apples.
These boringest fucking names.
All right, so this is a very rough map, obviously. But there's your apple orchard. Now let's add some roads. This town has no roads. What's the name of your familiar again?
Corvino.
Corvino?
Corvino.
All right. I'm just going to write that down so I don't forget it, but I already have more than enough names for our list there. Cool. Corvino. And here's some roads for this town. Let's see. It's a terrible road. Let's do a smaller one. There's got to be one that comes from the watchtower. It goes by the inn. Maybe off this way and this way are where the people live. Somebody's got to have a house here by the apple orchard because they take care of it. And then maybe there's like a bunch of other houses all over. Not that. Come on. Let's put houses there and there and there. All right. There's our village, guys.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thanks. You can praise my artistic skills behind my back later on. The fairground. There we go. All right. Now, the one thing we didn't do... Oh, this is all wrong, isn't it? There we go. The one thing we didn't do is name the village itself. What do we think?
Good question.
The village of Applegrave. I don't know.
Apple Grove.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm trying to like pull up some ideas here.
Okay. We've got Apple Grove and Applegrave on the table.
Grantham, Darkwell, Dawsbury. Norwich.
You like any of these, Jason?
Merkin.
What was that in? It was a. Oh yeah, it was the Hole in the Sky adventure. Village of Merkin.
Oh yeah. Doveport. Falcon Haven. Eagle's Nest. Wait, those are.
I'm actually coming around to Applegrave.
Oh, really? Let's just do Applegrave so we can move on. No, we'll make it one word. And we can get into our little adventure here. I want to make this big so that it looks nicer. That's what I'm spending time on. Okay. The village of Applegrave. All right. So, one last thing I need from you guys to help me start this thing off is to tell me some recent events that have been happening in the town. So, see, stuff has been going a little bit haywire, and you guys can help me decide the specifics. So, Mia, let's have you roll 1d12, please.
1. That's that computer dice roller. Yep. Give me a 1.
Well, what you're rolling for is what has happened lately. All of the milk in the village has turned to butter. So we're going to come back to that in a minute. Jason, why don't you give me a d12 roll as well?
I'm rolling an actual d12.
Okay.
I got 7.
Like I said, I straightened up here recently, and I have misplaced everything. I don't have any clue where my dice are. Not a single clue.
Jason, what Dario has heard about is that some strange man has been drinking loudly in the inn and has begun a drinking test for all comers. And he hasn't left in a full day. He's loud, he's obnoxious, and he's out drinking everyone. Let's do one more each. Mia, give me another d12, please.
Okay. 9.
A strange star rose in the north a few nights ago. People in Applegrave know the stars pretty well. Oh, hello, M. People in Applegrave know the stars pretty well, and everyone was terrified by a bright new star appearing in the sky. It is a fearsome portent, and it shines still even during the day. One more from you too, Jason.
11.
Okay, well, the well of the village, which is
probably in between the inn and those 3 houses.
Exactly, right there. It's filled with wine. The well is filled with wine. The milk is turned to butter. There's a mysterious stranger challenging everyone to drinking contests in the inn. And there's a strange new star that's appeared in the sky and is visible even during the day.
Unfortunately, there's plenty of wine for the drinking competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you two are young and capable, and people have been asking you to look into these occurrences. Which of these 4 things do you guys want to look into?
I think the wine in the well might be important, since we need water for more than just, drinking for our plants and for animals and
Well,
such.
asking about people asking you to look into the well situation are actually suggesting that you go talk to the village witch about it. She might know something that would help. Since the self-taught mage here doesn't seem to have any information on the well, maybe the witch.
Does she have a reputation as being friendly or standoffish or anything like that?
She's a member of the village. Witch in this context is not necessarily the bad kind of witch. She's just she's a healer. She's a healer and a practitioner, but she's not like an evil outcast who steals children or anything.
Okay. Well, Dario, I guess we should go talk to her about this. See if she has any insight.
Shirva, you should go do that. I want to check out this guy drinking too much at the inn.
Understood.
He seems less than on the level.
An unsavory sort. Well, fine. I will meet
you. Just less than on the level.
Well, I will go speak to the witch, and then I will come back to the bar or the tavern.
Okay. Well, you go find the witch. Her name is Elise, and she is unsurprisingly waiting for you. Waiting for someone. Happens to be you. Well, you are the one they send.
Oh, yeah, not so much sent as just asked to come.
What is sending?
Other than... Good question. Well, I am here to ask about the well. Do you have any information? Not to be rude, but we need to get this sorted quickly.
What about the well? I thought you had come to ask about the star.
Is it connected to the wine in the well? Are they somehow...
There is wine in the well?
There is.
Shirva, please roll a charisma test. This is roll at or under your stat. Roll a d20.
Or under. Oh, Jiminy. I rolled over.
Okay, that's a failure. So the witch storms off out of her home, hikes it right into the middle of the town, casts a spell, and turns the water back into water. However, she is too late, for the entire town is already drunk. Except for the guy in the inn and you two.
Well, I should have gotten in on those buckets of booze.
Why didn't you come for me sooner?
I thought maybe somebody else would. I mean, they had to find me to come find you. It would have been easier if they had just gone straight to you and left me out of it.
Well, from the looks of things, nobody's in the best place to be making decisions right now.
Yeah, come to think of it, the person that asked me was leaning heavily on a barrel. Was having difficulty speaking.
Well, this is no small thing. An entire well full of water being turned into wine. I imagine there are those who welcomed it, but we do actually need water to live.
Bake bread, yes. I like bread.
You can bake bread with wine. It's different. It's a different thing. Come by, I'll show you sometime.
Count on it.
You know,
I'm
Finn might like it.
sure we'll have to find some butter for that bread. I wonder if there's plenty of butter about.
Oh, there's plenty of that. I'm off to investigate the butter. Bye-bye. So Jason, Dario, you went to...
Yeah, so Dario wants to go like straight to the inn, and the first thing he wants to do is just chill out for a minute, you know, get a mug of tea and observe this guy. And whilst he observes this guy, he wants to use his sense magic ability to see if this guy is magic.
Okay. Is there like a description of that ability?
Being naturally sensitive to the world of magic, mages may determine if a person, place, or thing is magical. Doing so requires concentration and a few minutes, so mages cannot tell if something is magical simply by being in its presence, and people tend to notice if a mage is staring at them intently and ignoring their food during a meal. The GM may rule that when in the presence of a particularly intense sorcery, the mage notices such immediately.
Okay. Well, you are not in the presence of a particularly intense sorcery. However, you are in the presence of someone who is actively looking around at other people in the bar, looking for challengers, and sees you staring at him and examining him. He's going to say, "Hey, you want to go? I'll drink you under the table. Here to the table. Come on. Drinks are on me. The whole well's full of wine. I'll drink you unconscious. Come on."
Well, sir, that doesn't sound particularly hard, as you're a well-seasoned adult, and I am not that old.
Okay, but, fair point, young man.
Let's go.
All right, please.
I'm not that tough. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm already 5 drinking contests in, so you got an edge. Please test Constitution.
Missed it by 3.
You guys absolutely should have switched quests.
Nope, I love it. This is great. I love it.
You engage in the drinking contest, pass out, and when you wake up, this guy is gone and has robbed you and everyone at the inn for all your money.
You son of a fuck.
I happen to see this guy in the street.
You don't. However, I will give you this, since you tried to use that ability and it didn't. You weren't able to complete your study of this character before he challenged you. But since you then sat at a table with him drinking, you know when you wake up that this was indeed a magical being.
Ooh. I am so gonna get him back.
Yeah. Well, you have resolved the problem in the well and, in a way, resolved the problem in the inn. You still have the milk and the star to investigate. What do you guys think?
Yeah, should we talk to the witch about that star? Like that star? That's, I mean, it's the middle of the afternoon. Look at that thing. It's bright as hell.
The innkeeper, Deidre, staggers over to you, clearly nursing a headache. She says, "Dario, it's actually almost sundown."
Still, I mean, that thing is really bright.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to close the shades.
I push open the door to come in, like,
as you do,
Dario.
Deidre and all the other conscious patrons just go like, ugh.
Yeah, Dario holds his head and goes, "Oh, Sherva, which way did the witch go?"
Well, she went to the well and corrected the water problem, and then she was looking into the milk butter situation. She did mention something about the star in the sky that's bright.
Do we even have cows here? Oh, my head. Why didn't
What
I
happened in
hydrate
here?
better? Booze happened in here. Mr. Booze. B-double-O-Z-E.
And the guy you came in here to investigate, where is he? Is he?
Well, wherever he is, he's got all the money I had on me, which was pretty much all my money. So getting back at him is definitely on my itinerary.
Well, I didn't see him on the way here.
Well, I mean, he's some kind of magical something or another, so who knows what sort of tricks he's got up his sleeve.
Well, we should probably go speak to the witch again then about the star in the sky.
Actually, you know what, Steve?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this star, and is it familiar to me at all with respect to either folklore or ancient history?
So fun fact, each one of these entries, as you probably noticed with the first two, we're playing them out. They're kind of written as though you just roll for it and tell the backstory. But each one of these has a skill test associated with it. And for this one, that's exactly what the test is. Please roll intelligence. If you have any obscure knowledge skills, that may help.
Would ancient history or folklore count?
Let's see what the roll is, and then I will answer that.
Well, because the skill would be modifying my intelligence for my intelligence check.
Yeah, that's right. That's how that works.
I mean, I got it anyway, so I got a 12 versus either a 19 or a 21.
Okay, yeah. I was just trying to read it and see if the answer was relevant to your knowledge of history. But what you recall is a bit of old lore about the star, and you know the true name of a demon associated with a cult related to this star.
Yeah.
The true name is in your book. It's a demon name and is long and unpronounceable. It's something like...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know it.
The star. Okay.
Okay, so this star is related to some kind of cult run by a demon. Or that worships a demon. Yeah. How about that milk problem?
Yeah, I mean, where do we keep most of our milk in this town?
Oh, I would think that the dairy farm is probably up in this area.
Okay. Sherva, let's go check out the dairy farm and see what's going on there.
Owen is the dairy farmer.
And I mean, squirting out sticks of butter can't be pleasant for these cows.
You know, that's a visual I wasn't really thinking much about, but
I'm going to decree that you said that after you got to Owen, and he's going to say, no, it's butter. It comes out and then it turns to butter.
Oh.
It's not, I mean,
that's almost weirder.
It's just as weird, but it doesn't hurt the cows. I don't know why they're doing it. I asked the cows, they didn't answer. The old witch came by.
Did she have anything to say?
She told me to feed the cows witch hazel. I said, won't that kill them? She said yes, so I'm not going to do that. I mean, nothing against Elise. She saved my wife when she was sick some years ago, but she doesn't always say things that make sense.
Is there a non-lethal amount of witch hazel you can feed the cows?
I asked Elise why I should feed them witch hazel, and she just kind of cackled and ran away. So I think I'm just not going to do that. I imagine it would take a significant quantity of witch hazel to really kill a whole cow, but I don't want to make them sick either.
Well, I mean, sick or... I mean, Sherva, maybe we should go talk to Elise and maybe we can pin her down on what she meant.
Well, Dario, you know about the spells and the hoodoos. Why don't you come
know about
look
spells and I know about history, but
botany
isn't really my strong point.
I know, I can see you're not feeling well, but you walked all the way over here. Do you want to look at the cow?
I mean, did it grow some extra limbs and shoot lasers out of its eyes?
Well, no, but...
Okay, well, let's check it out.
Yeah. So you get in there. The cow... There's actually a few cows.
That fits.
Yeah, and all the milk is turning to butter. There's buckets of butter in here.
Just for my clarification, it's not turning into like sticks of butter.
No, it's fit. You're getting a bucket of milk and then it turns into butter, so it's a bucket of butter.
Okay, that's a little less weird.
Yeah, never said sticks of butter.
For some reason, I got it in my head that it was turning into sticks of butter.
What?
It must have been this. It must be this booze that I'm recovering from.
I think the answer is no, but do either of you have any agricultural skills?
No.
Can I substitute command for an agricultural skill?
Not in this instance, because you're not trying to get the cow to do anything. But roll investigation. Or, you know what? Intelligence. Test intelligence. Investigation would be a skill.
Intelligence?
Yeah.
All right, I got an 11 out of 19.
Oh, that's a success. So,
yes.
Once again, your knowledge of spirit lore comes into play. You see a pattern in the butter, and you know the true name of the sprite responsible.
Ooh.
That name is Fergus.
What, Fergus?
Fergus.
Feargus?
Yeah, there's actually an H. G-H-U-S.
Oh, G-H-U-S. We want to get that right? It's a true name. Come here. Oh, well, do I know any, oh, really? Whatever. Like, folklore-wise, have I heard of Fergus before?
You have, and now that you have that name rattling around in your head, you remember a book that you read in the old, well, you didn't read it in the basement, but a book that you read from the old basement library under the inn.
Oh no, there's a good chance I read it in that basement. That's like my secret hideout to a very good degree.
Well, I'm just thinking that would be a lot of, it would be dark, so I assumed you brought the books out a lot of the time, but that's fine. You can bring candles.
I have Mage Light as a cantrip, and it says specifically that it provides just enough light to read by.
Okay, we will. If you ever get into that basement in game, we will have to decide what has happened to it as a result of the many times the Mage Light cantrip has failed. Because some percentage of the time it will have failed.
Yeah, like maybe 5% of the time.
Yeah, something's been on fire in there for sure. But anyway, you, what you recall about Fergus, and now that you are starting to clear your head a little bit, you're probably still hungover, but you're not quite as hazy as you were an hour ago. And now you've got this name Fergus to go on. Fergus is a fae who is known to appear in human towns in the guise of a human and challenge people to random contests of strength or endurance.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
What's on your mind, Dario? Something.
I think I have it on my authority that the same being that did all this bull crap is the same son of a Mitch that drank me under a table and ran on and took off with all our money. Not your money, because you weren't there and you didn't get drunk like an idiot. But everyone who was there, our money. And but I recall his true name now, which should give me some power over him that would have been really, really helpful if I was getting into a drinking contest with him.
Owen
have
says,
to take it on your authority.
Owen says, wow, I guess maybe you should have come to check out the milk situation first, huh?
You know, apparently.
Well, while you guys are standing there having this revelation, you start to hear yelling and shouting back from the direction of the inn.
Oh, really? Oh, my brain.
Quickly, Dario.
My brain. Dario follows as quickly as possible, but it's not going to be as quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say, you fall behind me as I run off.
Sherva is strong of body, strong of limb. Dario is mild, he's a little above tough, but he's not that strong.
Okay. As you get to sort of the so you're coming from this area where the dairy farm is, and as you get to this where the road splits, you can kind of see the well out here. You see what people are shouting about. They're rushing into their homes and into the inn and into all the buildings and trying to move things out up onto the roofs or upstairs in the buildings that have 2 floors because there is water rising up from the ground. The well is fully overflowing, and the grass and weeds of the fields here are drenched. Several inches of water are turning all the ground into mud. There's just a flood coming up from the groundwater.
As I splurge in my boots, not sure where to go at this point. Offer aid to get things into the upper layers of people's homes and the inn.
Okay. Yeah, so you can spend some time helping people get things out of the way of the water. Dario, are you going to do the same?
I'm gonna get one look at this and just I am tired. I passed out drunk. I do not this is a lot. And I'm going to literally young man shakes fist at clouds. I'm going to shout out, Fergus!
What?
Anything happen?
Yeah. You hear from behind you. What?
Is this? I turn wearily, hands still on head. Is this you?
No, this is me. What, the water?
Did you do this?
No, I didn't do the
cause
water.
the well water to overflow like it's doing?
No, I did not, sir.
Do you know who did?
How did you know my name?
I know a lot of things. I just don't always put them together at the right time.
Well, that's for sure, because you could have said my name earlier.
Yeah, I could have, if I had thought of it. But I did now. Do you know who did this? Who caused this well to overflow?
I also know a lot of things.
What do you want for this information?
I already have what I want from you. All your money.
Cool. So just tell me who overflew our well.
Okay, I need to hit pause here for a second because I know there are rules about true names in the game book, and I don't remember. Is he required to obey your commands?
I don't remember. Give me
Meanwhile, Sherba is carrying armloads of books up from the basement library to protect them from the flood.
Okay, cool. Good.
I wish you the best at that.
Oh yeah, the books. That's actually super important. So no, he does not have to obey you, but you gain +5 to all actions taken against him. And a +5 to saving throws against stuff he does. So no, he is not required to do what you command. No. And so he is not going to. He because he is a Fey spirit. This is my own addition. He is not able to lie, but he's also not going to answer your question.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, that's not awful. See, here's the thing, though. I can attempt to command him.
Okay.
Except I don't have second sight. But I do know his true name. So mages who possess the second sight cantrip have special power over demons and spirits. If such a character knows a spirit's true name, she may attempt to command it to perform a specific task for her. And I'd have to make a successful charisma check. And if I fail, he'd be free of my power, and I can never attempt to command him again.
Well, also, it's kind of moot since you don't have second sight.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll tell you this for free. You having that ability and passing that check would be less interesting than you failing this right now.
Yeah.
Story-wise. So I'm actually glad you don't have that cantrip. But I do have some stats for him if you want to try anything against him.
No, I don't want to fight him. I just want information.
Well, okay. Do you have any spells that might help with that?
Not really.
Like a tell me what I want spell? You are free to continue talking to him. All he has said is, I know a lot of things. And he has said that it wasn't him, which you know because he is...
Do you know who did this?
Yeah.
Did whatever being who caused this, are they still in the village?
Certainly not. Mr. Dario.
Yeah, Dario is going to go... Dario's headaches, his limbs hurt. He's been running all over this damn village, and he's going to pull a runner for the witch's abode.
Okay, bye. Remember, if you summon me 2 more times, I get to fight you.
Yeah, have fun with that. It won't be much of a fight, my dude.
I know. Yeah, so you head to the witch. Are you going to the witches, or are you going to continue hauling books out of the library? Shurva.
I think I should keep hauling books for the sake of town knowledge.
Okay.
And for Dario's sake, since I know it's one of his favorite places.
Yeah, so do you make any attempt to make Dario aware of what you're doing? Or Dario, do you think it has even occurred to you that the books are in danger with this flooding?
No, my head hurts.
Okay. Well, Shurva,
I got a real one-track mind right now.
Shurva, do you make any effort to go get Dario or send a message to Dario about the books?
I would have tried to shout at him from a distance.
Okay.
I know everyone else is kind of preoccupied with their own activities.
Yeah. So Dario is doing good work for the village, but also the books are kind of important to him. So I will say, Dario, at this point, Shurva has called to you and made you aware that the books are in danger from the flooding.
In passing, I hand her the key. Give this back to me when we meet again.
Okay.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it.
All right, off to Elise's hut. We have not said where the witch lives. Let's just say it's out by the orchard here. It's not her orchard, but she lives near the orchard. It's a good place to get mushrooms and herbs and stuff. Also, the forest. She doesn't like the forest. But, yeah, so you find Elise at her house.
Witch.
I have a name.
Yes, you do. What happened to... What did you do to the well?
What did I do to the well? I made it stop being wine.
And now it's overflowing with water.
I did a simple counter curse. One that you could have easily done if you would engage in some mentorship, perhaps, with a more experienced practitioner than yourself. I know you won't take my help. You hid from that wizard who came through. You read your books and you think you're a wizard. Now, what's going on with the well?
The well is overflowing. Water is drowning everything in its path.
Water does that.
Yeah, it does that, but why is it overflowing?
I don't know. Why did it turn to wine in the first place? Did you hear about the thing with the milk?
Yes, because some face son of a gun decided to wander into town and mess with everyone. And he got what he wanted. But now things are going sideways again. What do you could this be related to the extra bright star that is shining overhead?
Yes, it could.
Did she say that, or did you say that?
She said it.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, idiot. Well, you call me witch. If we're just using titles instead of names.
Yes, we'll go on.
I'll be honest with you. There's a reason that I live here by the orchard instead of down by the forest. There's a reason the village watchtower watches the trees and not the road. The fair folk live in the woods, young Dario. It's not the first time they've come out and played havoc I don't know what they want. But if you say the one you met got what he wanted, and still mischief is being wrought, then perhaps he was merely a representative of some more powerful being.
And I could call this more powerful being here and attempt to reason with it?
I would not do that. Powerful Fae do not enjoy being summoned by young mortals. Besides, you would need to know its true name.
Yeah, I'm attempting not to say that, because I don't want to summon it just willy-nilly.
You think you know its true name?
Yes.
Write it down. You actually already have it in your book.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to write it down. I'm going to pull my book out, flip, 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 and here.
Oh, well, that's not a Fae, Dario. That's the name of a demon.
Yeah, cool. Fae, demon.
One wonders what business they might have with each other. This Fae that you met and this demon associated with this star. Perhaps we should go to the woods and ask.
My lady, lead on.
Me lead on? I'm 70 years old.
And I'm
you lead on. Where's your friend? She's strong.
She's running around helping people.
Well, she can run around and help us. Let's go get her.
I'm going to send Corvino to I mean this in the least horrible way possible, Sherva, but I'm going to send Corvino to fetch Sherva.
Okay.
So that she can meet us on the way to the forest.
Yeah, I think you guys, you're best friends. You've lived together in the village your whole lives. I think Sherva would know if Corvino appears that Dario wants her.
Yeah, when I my brain went, send him to fetch her, and that's really demeaning. But my all that booze. I'm not creatively wording very well.
That's fine. So, Sherva, do you indeed follow the bird?
Bat,
sorry.
Yeah, I would, but have I saved the library? I mean, I don't know how many books are down there. Going at it, and it's
it's a
at
library.
least waist deep in water or something.
I think it's probably impossible that you saved all the books. But you've been at it for a good while, and can you roll D100? We'll see how many books you saved.
Yep.
And then another D100 to see how many you didn't save.
Well, that's not good. 25 and a 97.
Oh, wow!
Could we not have flipped those rolls?
That comes from... So, 25... What that means is 25 of them were untouched by water, thanks to you. 97 of them were water damaged. Might not be totally destroyed, but this comes of the door being locked and having to get the key from Dario. And also, I mean, by the time you guys even got back to the center of town, the regular ground was already under a couple inches of water. So a basement was definitely Definitely not in good shape when you got in there. But yeah, you'll follow the bat now, and Elise and the two of you head south along the road past the watchtower. When you get to the watchtower, you see actually Shurva, your father, manning his post up in the tower. And he is, he is a dutiful watchman, but, nothing ever fucking happens. So he's usually just sort of sitting around. He plays cards with himself. He draws pictures. He's solitaire, whatever. He draws pictures. But what he does not often do is stand perfectly still and stare at the tree line. But that is what he's doing as he comes into view now.
Something must be up. My father's typically not quite that vigilant.
Looking where he is looking, you see a row of young women. Beautiful, scantily clad young women standing at the edge of the trees, and it takes you a moment to realize what's wrong with them, because their singing is kind of distracting. They have beautiful singing voices, but what you notice is their skin is faintly green, and there is leaves and vines growing intertwined with their hair. Elise mutters, "Wood nymphs." And I will need each of you to make a saving throw versus spell, which is done in some sort of way.
What is that?
Let's see.
Above or below? I know how to figure that out. They go up or down? They go down, so it's going to be up.
Saving throws.
Is it meet and beat or beat?
Let me check. I'm looking at it now. Roll a d20 equal to the saving throw number or higher. It's meet or beat.
I met.
Great. Where did you get the number to meet?
It's at the very end of your playbook.
Okay.
Like literally the very end of your playbook. Level 1, experience, BAB, and saves.
Copy that. I'm on the wrong page. So I'm just looking up what it will be for Mia, the village hero.
Minor set right.
Mia's going to be looking at... Oh
yeah, your spell save 17.
I utterly failed that.
Okay. So Dario has passed. I'm just going to... What's your number, Dario? I'm just going to make one up for Elise. I'll say Elise's is 10 then. Okay.
I mean, if she's a witch, and she's probably a decent leveled witch, 10 works.
Yeah, she's more advanced than you, but she has failed. So Dario, you are the only one unaffected, as you see your two female companions transfixed and begin walking towards the forest. Shurva, you are compelled to follow these nymphs into the woods.
Lovely.
And your father actually is coming down from the watchtower and doing the same.
I'm like,
Dario,
come with us.
You are the only one in
Dario.
you're the only one in your right mind, Dario.
Ugh.
And you're hungover.
Yeah.
On that note,
I'm assuming that is the primary reason this isn't getting to me, because instead of it being, oh, this beautiful singing, I'm just like, oh God, just shut the fuck up.
That's exactly what's going on. That is exactly what's going on. It's a little early, but let's go ahead and take our break now. This feels like a good pause in the narrative here as you guys are being led into the woods. And we will see you all in 10 minutes. I don't see anyone in the chat. I don't know if anyone's watching. But if you are watching, thanks. And we'll be back after the break, 10 minutes. So you guys, oh, hello, welcome back. We are returning to the village of Applegrave, but you guys are leaving it. Shirva Jarn and Elise the Witch and Shirva's father Furman have all been ensorcelled by the wood nymphs. They are singing in such a fashion that it captures men's minds and women's minds as well. But not Dario, who is apparently shrugging off this bewitching song.
No, I'm just too hungover for it.
They lead you through the woods for some way. Dario, do you attempt anything to try and stop what is happening?
You know what? I'm not going to try and stop it, but I am going to follow them.
Okay.
Just because I can't think of any good way to stop this right now. So I figure I'll follow them and see if I can't come up with a bad plan on the way.
Okay. Well, the place that they lead you to is deep in the forest where it gets to... yeah, go ahead.
What do I know about wood nymphs?
Roll an intelligence check, and since you've already got Fergus in your book, let's do a +2 to your intelligence for that.
I mean, well, I got a 16 on the roll, so versus 16 out of 21.
Oh. Yeah, you're good. You know that they are known to lead people away, and sometimes those people don't return. But what lore you know about them suggests that the nymphs themselves are not particularly malicious. They are often, when they are alone, acting of their own accord, they are just mischievous. And if they are doing anything else, it is probably in service to some greater lord of fairy. And in fact, as you are led through these trees, the trees getting thicker and thicker to the point where, in order to continue following the nymphs, you guys sometimes have to turn sideways to get between the dense trees. Until you reach a clearing almost totally rectangular in shape, completely devoid of trees, but surrounded on all four sides by this thick wall of trees. There are tapestries made of reeds and grasses and leaves hung up along the, what we will call, walls. There are torches lit to light a giant stone, well, a couple of giant stone tables for feasting. And there are taxidermied animals at one end surrounding a large stone throne. This looks like nothing less than a lord's feasting hall, except that it is outdoors. And sitting upon that throne is a very tall, very imposing creature, 9 feet maybe if he were standing. His face and hands appear to be made of wood. His hair, in fact, is I don't want to say Groot, but like basically Groot if he were pissed off and murdery. What's that? Like, the Green Knight. Yeah, the Green Knight is a lot closer. Only he's not green; he's dark brown colored. Yeah.
Like the Brown Knight.
Yeah, that guy. And he's mad. For his face, picture more Groot, but for his general demeanor, picture the Green Knight. He's just a scary, big tree wood spirit of some sort, and this is clearly his hunting lodge. He sees the 4 of you come in, the 4 of you being you two, plus Elise the Witch and Furman, Shirva's dad. And his eyes sweep across you as the nymphs finally stop singing once you're in his presence. There are many other spirits here as well, goblins and fairies and all sorts of weird, ugly little monsters sitting at the tables. But they all go quiet as you walk in because they know that their lord is about to address you. When the nymphs stop singing, Shirva, your ensorcelment ends. But his eyes rest on you, Dario. Here is one who came to my court of his own will. This is well. It speaks of courage, and that is what I need.
What do you need? You look like you have more than enough courage to go around, sir.
Flatter me not, mortal. You owe a debt, you and your people. And because it is in my nature to be benevolent, I will allow you to pay your debt in perhaps a less dangerous way than I might.
What is the debt that we owe?
He leans forward. He scowls at you. Mortals always pretend ignorance. It is tiresome.
Well, then I'm going to try and recall my the folklore I know of this area and beyond, and try to conceive of what debt we owe this dude.
What was that, Shirva?
I was going to elbow our witchy poo and like, do you know what they're talking about? They shake off the ensorcerment.
She shakes her head and shrugs. But you know, Elise is not known to frequent the basement library with all of those old tomes that only Dario has a key to. So, Dario, why don't you roll intelligence, and we'll take +2 for this, since history is your thing.
Oh, yeah. I got a 5 out of 20. 5 out of 21.
Okay, so this guy is addressing you as though you are trying to put one over on him. He thinks that you know exactly what he's talking about, and he is deadly serious about that, which is in keeping with what you know of the Fae. Because amongst the Fae, there are these long, complicated rules of etiquette, and all of the Fae know all of them. And it is an alien concept to them, the way humans are just different people and don't all know the same stuff. They believe You know, when the Fae do something, they believe in group responsibility. And for all you know, he's talking about something that some other human did 300 years ago in another country. But he's counting you as one of them.
Oh. Oh. Then, sure, great spirit whose name I'm only not recalling due to the abundant imbibement of alcohol I did earlier. What can we do to pay this debt, and does this have anything to do with our town flooding?
Indeed. For when your young man purchased... Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
No. Sir, I apologize for interrupting. Continue.
Indeed, for when your young man purchased that bauble that he thought nothing of, he incurred the wrath of all my court. But my wrath will be lifted if you but complete a task.
The task being?
Furman, Sherva's dad, at this point attempts to draw his sword, his wits sort of just coming back to him as the spell disperses.
Oh no. No, oh.
Can I stop him with like a dexterity thing?
You may. Go ahead and... What is the stat for that? There's dexterity. Yeah, go ahead and roll that. Because he was ensorcelled for longer than you, he's a little slower to come out of it, so I'm going to give you +2 to your stat on that.
Okay. Haha, success.
Okay, so you know your father well. You've trained with him. You've fought with him. You've stood in the watchtower with him. You see him just out of the corner of your eye twitch in that way, and your hand is already there to stop him from drawing the sword.
Father, no.
And
they could strike us down in an instant.
It is dead silent in this glade. You could hear a pin drop as 2 hands dart towards a sword and one stops the other from drawing it. And every creature in this place sees what has just happened. And the king or lord or whatever he is sits back and waits to see what your father will do. What do you say to your father to stop him?
What I did is like, Father, no, don't. We are outnumbered and they could strike us down in an instant. Stay your hand, Father.
I will have failed in my watch if I allow these creatures to harm our village. The tree creature will then lean forward and say to Furman, "Then do not allow us to harm your village. Undertake the mission I shall give you. Succeed, and your village will be spared. Your watch will be successful."
Yes, that sounds like an excellent plan, good sir.
Sounds very reasonable.
What is this mission?
So Furman, you can see, I think, Sherva, on Furman's face that he knows he has done a stupid thing. But he's trying to find a way out of it that doesn't make him look weak or stupid. He only reached for that sword because he was a little bit befuddled But in that moment of silence, he kind of came back to his senses and realized what's going on. He does release the hilt, and when you release his wrist, he will put his hand back to his side.
Thank you,
So-
Father. Our honor will be fulfilled with the mission.
So this king, or whatever he is, he has not called himself a king, but he says, I am the Lord of the hunt, and as such, the hunt is my domain. All hunters are meant to obey my commands. But more often than not, they are not friendly with each other. 2 of my subjects are at war. It is causing no end of mischief in the forest. Broker a peace, mend their fences, as mortals say. And I will forget your village's debt to me.
Yeah. So who are we brokering peace between?
Zazathrax, the Goblin Prince. And Fergus, the Trickster Challenger.
Yeah, I know that guy. I've met that guy.
You know of Zazathrax?
I know of I know of the second gentleman you mentioned.
Ah. Well, then you know that he has no home, for he wanders from place to place, challenging mortals to silly contests.
What per se is the beef between these two?
It is older than I can recall, but Fergus and Zazathrax often compete for the mortals they wish to swindle. Fergus swindles them by challenging them to contests they cannot win. Zazathrax swindles them by slitting their throats and taking what he wants in the night.
I don't want that second one.
Well, they often target the same towns. They often target the same towns and blame each other for their reduced spoils. If you can make them get along, or at least calm down the active hostilities, that will be enough to restore order to my domain.
What? Apologies, Lord. My young person brain. What does Zazaprax want?
That
in general, I understand that is Zazaprax's whim, but is there anything you can tell me to possibly... Never mind. I'm asking too much, and I do not wish to trouble you any further with this. We will deal with it.
Very well. You, witch, he addresses Elise. I believe that you know the way to Zazathrax's cave. You can see Elise kind of gulps. She was clearly not expecting this being to know anything about her. And she nods and says, "Yes, my lord, I can lead my friends to the Goblin Prince." And he says, "Very well, be gone," and waves his hand, and you find that you are in fact gone. The glade that you were in is not around you. Those dense trees are back to being normally spaced out forest trees. And everything looks very decidedly not goblin-y or fairy-ish.
What did we just experience, Dario? Do you have any idea?
I mean, I have theories, but I really don't want to test any of them, because that dude seemed wicked strong.
Yeah, I don't recall any stories of the Fae interacting with our people in such a way.
Well, you know, maybe it was a long, long time ago. And maybe we're not even the people he's thinking of. But here we are.
Fulfilling the obligations of others.
So it goes. Elise.
Yeah.
Lead on. If it's dark, I will produce a light.
Elise has already done so, and she will lead you guys through the woods towards Zazathrax's cave. Furman is going to come with you, and yeah, so it's a couple hours walk to reach Zazathrax. On your way, the trees get darker and kind of grosser. They're covered with moss, and the bark of the tree starts to get darker in color until it's actually black. There's a mold, some kind of disease dripping from the trees. The mud under your feet begins to be broken up by little rivulets of swamp water. You're stepping on disgusting, like, leeches and slimy things as you walk. You're very glad that your boots do not have holes. And then, before you reach any cave, Elise says, "I hope you all have your thinking caps on, because the trees part, and in front of you sits a three-legged sphinx."
Like a sphinx that's missing a leg?
It appears to be a sphinx that's missing a leg, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
It says, "You may not pass unless you answer 3 riddles."
okay. On the way here, at some point, my father and I get into an argument about my arranged marriage.
Oh, absolutely.
The same argument Dario has heard for the last 2 months between
Finn,
the two.
Finn is a perfectly fine young man.
But he's not the man I would choose, Father.
Who would you choose, this Dario?
Dario's just a friend.
Well, Finn is not. Finn is your betrothed, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with him. He is the man that I have chosen for you.
And that's the problem, Father. You chose him for me.
We live in a small village. The number of men your age is about 3. Dario, Finn, and Jervis. Do you want to marry Jervis?
No.
Perhaps you'd like to marry an older man. What about Boris?
Let's just not discuss it, Father.
Rio, perhaps. Rio the Hunter?
This forest is growing uncomfortable.
Right. Yeah, so you guys...
At that point, Dario will interject. This forest is growing into a swamp. Do we live near a swamp?
You are vaguely aware that things do get wet far enough into the forest. Your people don't come in very deep, for the most part. None of you really have your bearings. Elise seems to know what she's doing. But yeah, at this point, you guys argue for a while. You resolve nothing, and you meet this Sphinx, who challenges you to a riddle contest.
What are the rules of this riddle contest?
If you fail one riddle, then you must answer 3 more. If you fail 2 riddles, then I will eat one of you. If you fail 3 riddles, then I will eat all of you.
Awesome.
Dario,
rules.
I hope the walk here has helped clear your head.
Not in the least.
More your forte than mine.
Furman looks nervous but shows no sign of leaving. Elise looks impatient for the riddles.
Yeah, let's go. Bring it.
Then listen first. I don't have eyes, but once I did see. I once had thoughts, now white and empty. What am I?
A skull?
Damn it.
Yes, got the...
You said eyes, I thought potatoes. Thank God you're here, Dario.
Behold. Hold on. My life.
Dario looks around, attempting to behold.
My life can be measured in hours. I serve only to be devoured. Slim, I am quick. Fat, I am slow. Wind is my foe.
Wow.
So I don't believe the Sphinx said so, but let's pretend he did. You guys have one chance to give your answer, but you are allowed to talk it out amongst yourselves before giving like your official final answer.
Yeah, Dario turns to Sherva and Elise and Furman. That sounds like fire, right? But I'm getting tripped up because fire, like wind, exacerbates fire. It's not really its foe. Unless you do like a real quick wind to deprive that fire of the wind it needs to live.
Furman is furrowing his brow. What did it mean? Slim, I am quick. Fat, I am slow.
I don't know, Father. I have no idea. I must read those books I saved from the library at some point. educate myself.
When did you learn to read, Sherba?
Dario has been teaching me.
Obviously, everyone should read. Reading
You and I,
improves everyone's life.
you and I should have a talk after this is over, young man.
Yeah, I can teach you to read too.
I don't want to read. I'm a watchman.
All right, so back to the riddle.
Okay, so I'm going to say this. You guys can either choose to make a guess, or you can choose to let Elise roll and see if she gets the answer.
Give us a minute. We're
Yeah.
working on it.
Should I roll an intelligence check and get a clue?
We got a clue.
Yeah, Furman gave you one.
Yeah.
I can repeat the riddle.
Please?
My life can be measured in hours. I only serve to be devoured. Slim I am quick, fat I am slow. Wind is my foe.
Candle. That would be my guess, Dario.
Yeah, that sounds...
Like a big candle would burn slow and a small one would burn fast, and
Sure. Dario turns to the Sphinx and says, "A candle."
The Sphinx growls in anger as you have gotten the answer to the riddle correct.
yay.
Now that we've gotten the hard riddles out of the way.
The discussion of fire was helpful, yes.
This is your last. Get it wrong and you must do 3 more.
I hope so. I hope it's the last.
If you get it right, it will be your last. 1,000 colored folds stretch towards the sky. Atop a tender strand, rising from the land, till killed by maiden's hand. Perhaps a token of love, perhaps to say goodbye.
Can you give me that one again, Sphinx?
1,000 colored folds stretch towards the sky. Atop a tender strand, rising from the land till killed by maiden's hand. Perhaps a token of love, perhaps to say goodbye.
We obviously, culturally in our village, we put flowers on people's graves, and flowers are sometimes used as tokens of love, and flowers have more than one color, and I feel like I'm still not getting it.
Let me clarify. It said 1,000 colored folds. 1,000 modifying the word folds, not modifying the word colors. So saying there are 1,000 folds that are colored.
Like a flag or a banner.
Yeah, but I guess a banner could be a token of love, but killed by maiden's hand?
Hold on 1 second. Wait. Yeah, okay. Because of what you already said, I have rolled for Elise with a +5. Flowers are killed when young girls pick them. killed by Maiden's hand. You've got it.
Oh, obviously. I've got it, or I've got it.
You've got it.
Flowers.
The Sphinx looks sad. He just kind of like drops down onto his front paws. Everyone always gets my riddles. I never get to eat anyone.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I am terrible at riddles, so they were incredibly difficult for me.
That does not make me feel better. You're terrible at riddles and you still got them.
I will send someone I know named Finn here.
Finn?
He might be a meal to your liking. I laugh.
The last time someone laughed like that, I ended up losing a leg.
Oh, my apologies. I do not mean to bring up a bad memory.
You may pass. Good job, guys. I wasn't sure how hard those would be, honestly.
Yeah. I was worried how hard those were going to be.
I know, you're like, I have riddles. I'm like, oh, geez, no.
Yeah, well, you know, when you read a riddle and it comes with the answer, you don't really know how hard it is because you don't spend time thinking it through and trying to do it.
Yes,
so yeah, let's keep moving.
Yeah. You reach, well, Elise leads you on, and she eventually leads you into a dark cave where she calls out, "We come at the behest of the Lord of the Hunt to speak with Zazathrax, the Prince of Goblins, as his heralds. Will you let us pass unharmed?" And you see, staring into this cave, the darkness parts. And it parts in the manner of like squirming, crawling things. And you realize that what you took as pitch blackness was actually dozens and dozens of goblins lying in hiding, covered in black cloth and black mud, and making it look as though the cave was just dark, when in fact it's actually not all that dark in there. They move out of your way, and they let you pass. You head down this tunnel into an open cavern where a small, red-skinned, disgusting little goblin looks up at you, wearing his crown made of junk that he must have stolen from somewhere. Says, "I am Zazathrax. Who are you that the Lord of the Hunt sends mortals to speak with me?"
We have come in regards to your rivalry.
Before we get into this main cavern, like as we're passing by the goblin guards in their black and muddy cloaks, Dario would like to take an aside to one of them and ask, "How is the stew here?"
"It lacks something that I smell in your flesh."
That's too bad.
Come, Dario. Don't encourage them.
All right. So what were you going to say, Shirva, to the Goblin Prince?
I'm really unsure. I was like, well, we have come at behest of the Lord of the Hunt concerning a debt and a rivalry you have with one of the other Fae.
And what is it that so concerns my lord? Surely he knows that Zazathrax has no rivals.
I'm sorry, Dario. What was that Fae's name again?
Obviously, Zazathrax has no rivals, but the Lord of the Hunt would still like you to bury the hatchet with Fergus.
Bamf. I will bury the hatchet in Fergus.
No, with.
Ha ha ha! Fergus! Ah, the Lord of the Hunt wishes me to bury a hatchet in you. Ha 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 ha! Fergus says, no, that's not what he said. Dario!
Make
Phrasing?
peace.
You are a terrible human.
I mean, I do have chaotic leanings.
Why have you summoned me to this cave where Zazathrax is? I do hate this goblin.
Why?
Because he kills people before I can swindle them.
Zazathrax, why do you kill people before Fergus can swindle them?
Fergus is no concern of mine. I kill when I kill. I take what I take. I care not where Fergus comes behind and complains that his victims are already dead. Be faster!
And this all said, I mean, what, are you both so intent on targeting the same people?
We can only target those people who live nearby to where our Lord makes his court for the season.
I see.
You see nothing. You are human, mortal, stupid.
I mean, as an aside, yeah, I'm just trying to say things to draw this out as I desperately try to think of some way to deal with these two.
Furman leans to you, Dario. Says, Dario, what do you know of these two? Could I challenge one of them? Surely their feud would end if one of them were dead. Which could I defeat?
Well, what do I know of Furman's fighting prowess?
He is the best warrior in your tiny village.
And what do I...
Except for maybe Shirva, who is his daughter.
I mean, I say to him genuinely, I don't think we should challenge either of them to a stand-up fight. I do not trust that we would walk away from that. Like,
there must be something we can do.
We got to make this we got to be a little bit clever about this. And I understand that clever may not be, this group's byline.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that I may be rather smart, but I still tend to come at things like some sort of battering ram. I beat them with my smart until they relent.
Well, you try that. We'll see how your smart works, and if that doesn't fare well, then I will use my sword.
I don't think either will fare well.
Zazathrax looks back
I mean,
to the four of you, says, "It is only because you have invoked the name of my lord that I have not slain you and Fergus alike. Tell me what further message you have, or get out while you still breathe."
I mean that said, I mean this Zazathrax. I'm still talking to Furman here. I'm not trying to make it look like I'm ignoring Zazathrax, but I'm kind of ignoring Zazathrax. This Zazathrax, I mean, he looks like he might be kind of a pushover at drinking. And if we could get them into a challenge with each other, then if we could bind that challenge right, then we could get them to work their bullshit out themselves.
Okay, while Dario is clearly ignoring Zazathrax, who's addressing the group, Shurva, do you want to respond to Zazathrax at all? He has asked what further message you bring from his lord that will keep you alive in this cave.
Yeesh. Remind him that your lord sent us here to broker a peace between the two of you. If it is not reached, then I assume maybe your lord will seek to, with a stronger hand, would seek to settle this with a strong hand of his will.
Ah, you are human. You know not of the Lord and what he seeks.
And just to be clear, Zazathrax isn't going to rise to my sideways insult.
Zazathrax is not, because he didn't hear it. He was.
No,
speaking
I meant
with
him to hear that.
But he was speaking with Shurva while you were ignoring him. However, Fergus heard it. Fergus heard you suggest that Zazathrax might be a pushover at a drinking contest.
Yes.
So Zazathrax is mouthing off to Shurva, but Fergus is looking at you, Dario, with renewed interest. And he will speak up now. "Did you hear that, goblin dunce? Apparently our lord has commanded these humans to put us into a drinking contest. What think you?" To which Zazathrax replies, "Do not twist these humans' words, Fergus." What did they say?
Pardon me.
No.
Are you okay, Dario? Catch a whiff of one of those goblins back there?
Oh, I'm catching a whiff of everything.
Furious will repeat what you said in his own words, essentially, that the Lord of the Hunt, whatever be his name, has commanded a drinking contest.
We are to bear witness.
Zazathrax.
I want to turn to Zazathrax at this point and ask, what if you win this drinking contest? What do you get?
I get Fergus's head on my wall.
I turn to Fergus. Are you party to that?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And if you win?
then I get Zazathrex's head on Zazathrex's wall, and his kingdom and his goblins are mine.
Zazathrax?
Agreed.
We'll bring out the booze, boys.
You did not say booze, you said drinking.
Oh, a clever goblin we have here.
He claps his hands, and a sortie of goblins comes running in with mugs and glasses, and they slap it down. And it is this disgusting, smelling, bubbling, acidic, swampy shit. You don't know what it is. Fergus,
I do not know what that is.
Elise is actually going to say, "What is that?"
That is a foul-smelling concoction for sure.
Well, Fergus, I have seen you drink many. I have seen many people you've drunk under the table, and I've been one of them. So,
yeah,
do yourself proud.
This is poison.
You can be poisoned? I'll need to remember that.
Never you mind, human. The goblin knows what he has served me. And the goblin turns to you, Dario, and says, "Thank you, human, for serving me, my enemy."
You know, as long as you two bury whatever hatchet you need to bury.
Oh, I will bury the hatchet. So as two of them sit down, Fergus looking unsettled, Elise is going to lean over to you, Shurva, and say, "This is not right. We were asked to broker a peace. If one of them dies at the other's hand, that is not peace.
It is not peace.
We would not want to upset the Lord of the Hunt. He seemed strong
And resolute in punishing us if we do not succeed.
and attractive."
If you say so. But I see no way out of this situation. Neither of these two are willing to talk.
How do we save Fergus without killing Zazathrax?
Don't know. You were able to correct the water into wine or wine into water problem. Maybe you can do something about the drinks.
Like, at this point, Dario kind of wants to lean back into this conversation and just posit, are you sure these two can't survive losing their heads?
I am not sure of that at all. I know the goblin can't. People kill goblins all the time. However, if I did turn that poisonous swamp muck into water, whatever they're drinking, eventually one of them will drink more than the other. And the rules they have agreed to specify that the loser dies.
And they both very willingly agreed to that.
So
Furman said...
Sorry.
Go ahead, Shurva.
Is that not a negotiated peace between them? I'm not sure.
Technically,
if that qualifies.
And the Fae are known for being bound by technicalities, but it doesn't mean he'll be happy about it. Furman says, Actually, that's not what they agreed to.
Go on.
Neither of them said kill or dead or decapitated or stabbed or anything. They said, I want his head on the wall.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have to be removed from their shoulders. I get it.
Exactly. You think I'm stupid because I can't read, but I have a lot of time to think about things up in that watchtower. I know things. I figure things out.
Hey, I never said you were stupid because you can't read.
He was addressing Shurva.
I just said that your life would be better for being able to read.
Maybe so, but here I am untying diplomatic knots, while all the 3 people who can read are just standing here.
Hey, I'm just wait. I brokered this. I set this up. I'm just waiting for it to happen.
So Elise says, "Well, should I do the spell then?"
Well,
Sure.
yeah, I think saving the life of each participant is paramount in this situation.
It's like a bass drum every time you do that. Yeah, so... okay, yeah, Elise turns around and mutters a few words, and the steam and bubbling in all these goblets and mugs stops. And Zazathrax and Fergus sit there with water in front of them. And they begin drinking. Zazathrax clearly dislikes the taste of water, but it's not harming him. So the thing is, because it's just water, neither one of them is going to be unable to drink more anytime soon. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to do while this is happening in front of you? Because they're just drinking glass after glass of water. And they're clearly upset about it. Like, they wanted this to be over by now. But they have gotten themselves into a situation where the terms of the agreement were too loose. And they just have to keep drinking the water.
We intervene and talk them into settling their differences in a different way. That they are obviously equals, and I don't know what else to add to that.
Dario, roll intelligence +5 to your score.
I got a 5% chance on this. Wow. Close. 18 out of 24.
Okay. You listening to Shurva try and talk them into just chilling out. You know from your knowledge of Fae that it's not going to work. They've already agreed to the terms of this contract here. The contract has to be completed before anything else can happen in their relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, Dario's inclined to just watch Fergus literally drink so much water that he can't drink anymore. And, you know, honestly, the same for Zazathrax.
Yeah, Zazathrax. Yeah, you're welcome for all those Z's and X's.
Goddamn hydrated that they can't drink anymore.
Well, the thing about that is, if their bodies work anything like humans, Fergus is obviously going to win. He's really big, and Zazathrax is a little goblin. He just doesn't hold as much water. But, of course, you don't know if their bodies do work anything like humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no loyalty to Fergus.
I'm
Like,
sure you
that
don't.
motherfucker loses, I'm gonna rifle through his damn pockets for my money.
Oh, I know.
So I'm like, Dario is willing to sit here and wait.
What about Shirva?
She's kind of amused by the whole thing, but she would like to see a brokered peace. I don't know how to break the arrangement they have.
Roll an intelligence check +2.
+2, so I gotta get under. Oh, that's a success.
The rules were whoever outdrinks the other. If one of them were to stop drinking for any reason, then he would lose. And then, as long as that person's head was on the wall, then the contract would be fulfilled. However, you also remember Fergus asked for more than Zazathrax. Zazathrax asked for the head on the wall. Fergus asked for Zazathrax's head on the wall and charge of his princedom. So in order for everything to be equal, Zazathrax has to win, and Fergus has to survive somehow.
And we can just put a painting of his head on the wall.
We could just hang him up on the wall.
That's one way to go. Those are both ways to go. I don't think you have time to produce. I don't think you have time to produce a painting. You do have time to maybe tilt the contest in his favor somehow.
Like, I have a really strong feeling that Fergus will survive having his head on that wall.
Okay. So, Dario, your intention is to do nothing.
And I got nothing.
Oh, no.
I just can't think of anything.
It's all right. I know what happens if you guys do nothing. It's not the end of the story.
What do I know about Fergus beyond his true name?
You know that he is a mischief maker. He likes to challenge people to things that he knows he can win. You know, he challenges mortals to contests of fortitude for the most part. Not just drinking contests, but like punching contests. You all right there? He challenges them to punching contests and like swimming contests and all sorts of other physical challenges. And he always wins because he is a fey spirit and his body just isn't like ours. He's built different. Beyond that, you don't know. You don't know what he wants. You know now that he is a vassal of the Lord of the Hunt. That's all you got.
And they're still matching each other pint for pint of water.
Yeah. But Fergus does look like he's slowing down.
Is there some way we could distract Fergus? Just give Zazathrax that edge?
Absolutely there is.
Yeah, I know there is, but I'm putting it to the group, aka Shirva, as I'm trying to think of a way to think of what we can do to just distract him without literally walking over, smacking him upside the head, and going, "Hey, buddy, Oh, look, he drank more while you were reacting to me smacking you upside the head. He wins.
Well, if we could summon him away from the table, so to speak, or Sherba's like, it's 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm having trouble thinking.
Yeah, but if I summon him again, then I gotta fight him.
Well,
and I'm not gonna walk away from that.
I could summon him. I could just step out of the cave and say his name.
Yeah, but what are you gonna?
I don't know. I'm just.
I know.
Throwing cow manure at the wall to see what sticks.
Ugh. That's some imagery there.
Elise looks impressed by your plan, Sherva. She nods like she thinks that's a good idea.
Go for it.
All right.
Are you going to do that then?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll step out of the cave or walk further out.
You walk up that tunnel again, filled with all those black-clad, muddy goblins who definitely want to eat you, but are restrained by the command of the Lord of the Hunt. Do you want to go all the way outside, or do you want to stop in the tunnel?
Just kind of stop halfway up.
And then you're going to say his name?
Yeah.
He is there. He goes, "What? Hey! What are you doing?"
Oh, I'm sorry.
Zazathrax, fully water drunk, just goes, "Get his head on the wall!"
I suggest you go back in there and stand with your head against the wall.
As hundreds of goblins detach themselves from the tunnel wall and lunge for Fergus with long curved blades drawn in their hands, he bolts down the tunnel. I'm going to roll for him, see if he makes it.
I will protect him if necessary.
Okay, that's going to give him a +2. He rolled 15 on the dice. He makes it into the room and pushes his head against the closest wall. All of the goblins right at his heels just stop.
There you are, Zazathrax.
I love it. I love it. Maggots, if he moves, skin him alive. And they all just move to surround him. And Fergus settles into his new life as a permanent fixture of Zazathrax's dining room.
Is there any way I can get in a little close to talk to Fergus?
Sure, if you want to push your way through the goblins.
Pardon me. Pardon me. Pardon me. Pardon me.
What?
I'm just gonna lean up into his to just kind of quietly speak into his ear. I'm gonna get stronger while you're here, and maybe later we'll have that showdown, like that face-off you were talking about earlier. Yeah?
If you can get me out of this room, I will not fight you.
We'll see what I can do. It's probably not going to be it's not going to be soon. But we'll see what I can do.
I understand. If you ever come within arm's reach again, I will kill you.
That's fair.
Your money's in my pocket.
What about everybody else's money?
you will only be able to get your own money. That's how fairy pockets work.
I take my money.
All right. You guys leave the cave.
Yeah,
And
this may not be a good piece, but it's something.
well, we're going to do a little cinematic cut forward. As soon as you leave the cave, you are back in the Lord of the Hunt's chamber, and you have said that to him. And he says, "They are not fighting. My vassals are not at war. It is peace. Tell Rio he may keep his bauble for now, and I will cease my attacks on your village. But the time will come when he must fulfill the oath he swore by buying it."
Oh, we will definitely pass that message on. Right,
Cool.
Shirva?
Definitely. Message received and yes.
He claps his hands. Food is brought out to the tables. The fairy folk begin to feast, and the whole place goes dark. You find yourselves back at the edge of the woods. It's midnight. That star in the sky is gone. And you can see your village.
Yay.
I feel like we should go pass that message on to Rio right now.
Okay. Yeah, you go to Rio's house. He is
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
good. What's up, man? It's late. What's going on?
It is late.
Yeah.
Although weirdly, I'm not sure if it's as late as it was for us like an hour ago. But hey,
What?
so the Lord of the Hunt just wanted us to pass on a message.
Oh,
Yeah?
fuck.
Yeah. So, you know what this is about?
A little.
Oh,
I didn't
I'm gonna-
know it was anything. I thought it was just a shiny rock.
Yeah, but now you're in debt. And he just wanted us to let you know that that debt will be collected on someday. So, you know,
Why does this
try
happen?
not to screw the rest of us over. Try not to screw the rest of the village over, you know, with regards to that.
You guys gotta help me, man.
Yeah, but, you know, maybe tomorrow, because we've had a really long night.
Well, when's the season end? Like, officially? When's the end of the season?
Dario looks mildly confused because he doesn't always pay attention to that sort of thing.
Right.
Shirva?
Furman will actually know and say...
Oh, is Furman still with us? Is everyone still with us?
Furman's absolutely still with you, but he's going to say whatever fantasy date it is that the current season ends. And and Rio says, crap, that's like 2 weeks.
Cool. So, in the morning, you're going to tell us all about this. All right?
All right. Thanks for that.
Don't go anywhere.
I don't think there's anywhere I could go.
Probably not, but, you know, I just figured I'd put that out there anyway.
Oh, damn it. I thought it was fake, you know?
Yeah, well, it's a fantastical world we live in. So, maybe think a little better. I'm not the wisest person, but,
I know
think
that.
better. All right?
All right. How you doing, Sherva?
I'm okay. I appreciate your help in the past, but yeah, try and stay out of trouble.
I didn't know. All right. Well, you guys,
really
you guys have done well.
When he says, I didn't know, Dario is going to reply, there's something I read somewhere once. And it's when people tell you who they are, believe them.
Okay.
You didn't know, but I'm guessing you got told and assumed it was nothing.
Maybe. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, you're going to see us in the morning. Maybe the afternoon, because I might want to sleep in a bit, but tomorrow. So just, keep your day open.
All right. Well, we'll wrap that up here. You guys have successfully saved the village. We'll keep it for a future game, maybe, if you are able to save Rio.
Yeah, I'd love to try that sometime.
Yeah, just for epilogue's sake, what you do get out of Rio the next day is that when a traveling market came through here on the fairgrounds last autumn, he bought this shiny amber stone from a trader, from a traveling merchant. And embedded in the stone is an image of a stag, which he was told contained the bones of the first stag ever hunted by the Fae. And he was also told that this object was stolen from the Lord of the Hunt and rightfully belonged to him. So after he took it, he began to have dreams and visions of himself becoming the new Lord of the Hunt. And you are able, with Elise's help, to determine that by buying this thing, he has put himself in the position of owing the Lord of the Hunt in such a fashion that the Lord of the Hunt will get to retire, and Rio will become the new Lord of the Hunt at the end of this season if things are not resolved somehow.
You, Lord of the Hunt, Rio?
That's rough, buddy.
That
I
is
know,
rough.
I'm not even that good at it. I'm not even
Yes.
good at hunting.
Yeah. But we got a couple weeks. We'll figure it out.
I'd kill myself, but they're fairies. It probably wouldn't work.
No, that probably wouldn't work, but we got a couple weeks to work on this.
All right.
And hey, we're already on vague speaking terms with the Lord of the Hunt.
Oh.
Yay.
Listen, I promise not to hunt you guys if I can help it. I don't know how it works.
I wasn't talking about you.
Oh.
But thank you.
Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you did, thank you guys for playing. This is a lot of fun. Got some good story out of this one. Yeah. Next week, Tales from the Loop. We'll see if we can get a third player for that.
Okay.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Oh, and this Friday, Cyberpunk.